All right, how are we going to handle this? All right, last week I had an onslaught of hatred thrown my way because I was happy about a win versus a bad Tennessee Titans team. This week, even though most of you are most skeptical of winning a game versus a bad and especially beleaguered opponent, you've got to be satisfied with that at least, right? I'm not saying that you have to take a 44-10 victory over a banged up Ravens team and say, oh, that's it. It's automatic. The Texans are obviously going to the Super Bowl. I'm not even asking you to do that. I'm asking you to say, all right, if you go up against a team like that, a team that has historically owned you, 13-2 lifetime versus the Texans entering this game. A team that had the national media saying, oh, Derrick Henry, look at what he's done versus the Texans. All they have to do is hand the ball off to Derrick Henry because the Texans are so woefully bad versus Derrick Henry. No. Derrick Henry is averaging about 3 yards a carry since D'Amico Ryans took over and the times that Derrick Henry has played the Texans. They've done very, very well against them. The Texans offense did some really good things today. They did what you would hope or you should expect a good team to do versus a bad team. And yet the line remained between 1.5 and 2 points favoring the Texans while the Ravens were playing with a backup quarterback and had their 6 highest paid players on the team out for the day. This is it turned into a deluge, but it turned into a deluge early. The Texans controlled the game throughout. Never, even after that, after the touchdown in the third quarter, did I really worry about it because the Texans were in control of that game. Derek Stingley lost his footing. I grabbed a few plays here and just almost at random because there's too many highlights to choose from, but some of these we can speak to a certain theme. The Chubb touchdown run, I was a huge fan of this for multiple reasons. One, because it looked like Chubb is maybe gotten even a little bit more of his old burst back. But what have we worried about with the Texans? Handling the blitz. And you're usually thinking about that in a passing context. But the Ravens load up here. And what happens when you can run successfully versus a blitz? Once you get past that first barrage of human beings, there's green grass. And watch to the right here where you get not just really good play by the right guard and right tackle on a double team. Blake Fisher seals off. He's the extra offensive lineman in there. Look all the way to the right. You got Blake Fisher working in tandem with Christian Kirk, like they grew up together in an offensive line prep school or something. And then you get Xavier Hutchinson sticking his head in there. It's beautiful. And it's versus a bad team. I don't care. All right, I'm looking for beauty in this life. I don't want to give short shrift to Woody Marks. Chubb had a more productive day, but Woody Marks, just look, when you can be a small back that breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles, when you're drag big dudes for 4 or 5 yards as a smaller back, it's emasculating. You're castrating those poor bastards. I almost said the F word. And then let's see, the Hutchinson touchdown. I could have put numerous C.J. Stroud highlights in here, but really, by and large, for most of the day, versus some backups, some good players. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Oh, one of the reasons the score was so lopsided was because Mark Andrews couldn't catch a ball. Is he not a bona fide starter? Is he not somebody that's ravaged your team in the past? Is he not a guy that seems like he's starting to do this somewhat regularly, going back to last year's playoffs? I digress. Look at the running backs. Nick Chubb, 11 carries for 61 yards, 5.5 yards per attempt. Woody Marks only had 3.4 yards per attempt, but I thought some of his yardage was really hard gained, and they were able to attack the edges. They were able to hit Nick Chubb up the middle a little bit. Woody Marks on the edges, kind of some of that dynamic that we've been envisioning. British Brooks with 2 carries for 15 yards. Damian Pierce got in there at the end. And the one that I really liked, and I wish I had grabbed, was Nico Collins on the end around. Because if we go to C.J. Stroud combined with Nick Caley in this game. C.J. Stroud, 23 for 27 for 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So it was like an 80 whatever percent completion percentage, real high completion percentage last week. Yes, versus a bad defense, but I think that I think we can safely move from beyond the point where almost there was a stretch there going back to last year where any inaccurate C.J. Stroud throw it felt like the tendency was to say, oh boy, and myself included, I'm guilty of this. It was like, is he the ball placement specialist he used to be? These last couple games, I thought he's been pretty damn precise. He's had some misfires, but I'm not comparing him to the all-time greats, but the all-time greats have misfires as well. When you look up at the end of the day and he's completing 75-80% of his catches or his pass attempts, I feel good about that. In terms of Caley, one of the things I liked really a lot initially on that opening drive was he had 7 different guys touch the ball, either as a ball carrier or as a receiver on that drive. I thought the diversity of the play calling, the misdirection in the backfield, and then using that misdirection to set other things up. We've seen that for a couple weeks now. Versus bad defenses, yes, but it serves a purpose. You get these reps in, you're getting the rookies involved. You have every kid from Iowa State get a touchdown today, did we not? Right? Yeah. Like that part is really exciting. Jalen Knoll did the Ray Lewis dance, and only the weird Jair Alexander, who's there on a kind of a one-year prove-it deal and has barely played it all. He's been on the Ravens for all of 3 minutes, and he's the one guy that goes and objects to them doing the Ray Lewis dance. And then on the next possession, Mark Andrews bobbles the ball, and Jalen Petrie gets yet another interception. Now, I don't know who I'd give the game balls to today. I mean, you've got Xavier Hutchinson with 2 touchdowns. You've got C.J. Stroud with 4 touchdowns, so those are some easy ones. Defensively, I don't know how you have to give a game ball to Jalen Petrie, right? Jalen Petrie gets a game ball. Here we go. The Mario Edwards sack. I like this one because this was a true team sack. Like it was a combination of coverage and Will Anderson. If you watch up at the top, I believe it's Will Anderson at the top. Wow. Look at how fast Will Anderson gets across the line of scrimmage. So Will is deep in the backfield, destroys his dude. Oh, he just missed a couple sacks today. Then you get Daniil. They trip each other up. But Mario Edwards, this is something he's really good at. I noticed this when the Texans first signed him. He does a great job of getting his hands up in the lane. Like, he knows he's not as fast as Will Anderson or Daniil Hunter, but he takes away quarterbacks' options and keeps them. He did that to Deshaun Watson when Mario was with the Titans, and it was masterful. He made Deshaun pull the ball down twice as when Mario Edwards got his sack. Deshaun obviously was with the Browns, and Mario Edwards with that other team that I was talking about. In terms of, speaking of the Titans, I was looking up the all-time best defenses, and the 2000 Ravens, I know, the 86 Bears, etc. But in terms of scoring defense, the Baltimore Ravens are the all-time best at 10.7 points per game. The third all-time best was actually the second best scoring defense the year they did it. It was because it was the 2000 Titans, and they held opponents to 11 point some points per game. So after that game, I think the Texans will probably be down flirting with 11 points per game. It's way too early to talk about that stuff. I was on an elite scoring defense one time long ago, and then we fell apart at the end of the season. So I don't like to jinx it with any of that talk. Back to the running game. This is something that is important. So we want the Texans to be a physical rushing team. We want the offensive line to be able to get movement. And I know I'm going to throw this play, and you guys are going to be like, Seth, what the hell are you talking about? That's evidence of good offensive line play? It is. Because you had that defensive lineman slant. And what you have here is the center and the guard, the left guard and the center are supposed to be double teaming that nose tackle, while the right guard and the right tackle double team the other defensive tackle. This is duo. We talked about this before the game, that the Titans struggle against duo, where you just got a couple of double teams there. They missed the double team because of that slant. But because Titus Howard and Ed Ingram are getting just such ferocious push downfield, and then Ed Ingram comes off onto that backer, I mean, it's beautiful. Chubb really, what we had hoped with Chubb was that he looked strong in the preseason. He looked, you could tell he still had the vision. He just didn't have that same pop. I feel like today on that long run, he showed some pop. Like, I don't know if it's not vintage Nick Chubb yet, but theoretically, and especially if they can parse out his carries and platoon him with the other backs, notably Woody Marks right now, then you might really start to see an additive effect as the season goes on, where Nick Chubb just keeps getting more and more explosive, starts feeling more and more like himself. Remember that injury? A lot of people say, well, that's 2 years before you can really be back to yourself. So feel great about that. In terms of the receivers, Christian Kirk, 4 catches for 64 yards. Dalton Schultz showed up a lot. 5 catches for 60 yards. Nico Collins, 4 catches for 52 yards. Jaden Higgins, 4 catches for 32 yards. And one more, just because this was in a victory and we can do this. Let's one more. I want to watch DeAndre Hopkins. This is a nice catch he made, nice grab he made. And it's something that makes me a little bit nervous about the defense, or it did at this point in the game. So the Texans got a really nice pass rush, and Cooper Rush. I mean, look at who comes around there. Is that Daniil? I mean, they envelop him as Cooper Rush is making this throw. Kamari Lassiter had a hole in his arm, so this ended up, it was a reception, but oh boy, he was close on that. But DeAndre Hopkins, classic. Poop. The one thing, let's look at that whole drive. Okay, so they end up getting a field goal on this drive. So this is the first Ravens scoring drive. Daniil Hunter, the right defensive end. This sucks. Not by him. It sucks to be in this situation. If you see, as Daniil is looking down the line of scrimmage, he's seeing a guard pulling and coming at him. And these guards do a really good job of making it look like they're going to try to kick him out. So he's thinking, okay, I'm going to do the unselfish thing and try to spill this. But it turns out the guard is actually just trying to hold him in place for the... Oh, were they going to kick it up? Nope, no, it was supposed to go outside the entire time. So, I mean, it's not like Daniil theoretically can get upfield on that and stop it, but that's tough. And they ended up, they got him out of bounds. They ended up stopping him right here on the Zay Flowers. Boom. I'm going to complain about a little bit of the tackling today, but my God, just watch. He did this 3 times in this game. But good job railing to the ball. Henry To'o tackling him. They got a field goal. There you go. That was the most glorious moment for the Ravens today, in the first half at least. This is the one thing that would concern me moving forward is just, again, blitz pickup. And then sometimes the way CJ responds, not on this particular play, but that other play where he just kind of extended the play and ended up taking a sack. I think he thought there was, not on this play, but on the later play, he thought there was illegal contact downfield. But when CJ's at the line of scrimmage, you've got 7 guys lined up there. Who is blitzing? How has the protection been set? And you end up with Woody Marks and or Ariante Ursary just not taking care of the inside guy. Boy, and it just came so fast. You know, they had the screen set up. Somebody got beat on the inside, too, is the problem. I'm eager to watch the end zone copy on this because it looks like the right guard is kind of caught in a bind. So either because of pre-snap communication or Woody Marks' decision-making, you know me, I talk to offensive linemen enough to know that I never blame one particular individual when it comes to pass protection until you've exhausted all the possibilities and watched the end zone because it's very tough to tell sometimes. Woody Marks, by and large, still doing some really good things in pass protection. Comments before I go and before I get to CJ's press conference. Did Hopkins only have 1 catch? I think he had 2, did he not? Let's see. 2 catches for 46 yards. It's a big box I've got. It's a big box I've got there. All right, let's see. Revenge. Yes, it was a good revenge game. Running backs coach was... Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you, Christopher. So it was on Woody Marks. That's where the TV copy comes in handy. Sometimes you're watching on film, and you're like, all right, well, it could be this or it could be that. Oh, the running backs coach was yelling at him. Okay, good. Now we know. It's on Woody. Oh, it was supposed to be a screen to Woody. Well, no, there was somebody else set up out there, too. I think there was some confusion there because it looked like Jalen Noel was set up out there. So whatever it was a botched play or a mental error by somebody. Those missed tackles don't bother me much because how we swarm just means more guys are coming. Thrill, I want you to be careful with that. because that's an awesome regular season mentality. How do you feel about it when Travis Kelce is breaking tackles down the middle of the field in the playoffs, and in one particular game you just miss a boatload of tackles? DeMeco is not happy with the tackling right now. Like DeMeco used to say they just wanted him to swarm. I remember a couple years ago a Texans player said that they don't worry about missed tackles. That's changed a lot since last year. Texans had the highest missed tackle rate in the league going into this game. Yeah, like you can't do that's not championship defense. Like that's awesome. Everybody swarming to the ball is great until you face the really just the stud offenses or even an aging Travis Kelce in critical games, and then you bleed yardage or you extend drives because guys just aren't tackling well. It's not acceptable. It 100% isn't acceptable. The swarm mentality, and I've been through this. I basically wrote a damn novel on this. The swarm mentality doesn't do a damn thing for you if you get 4 guys to the ball and all 4 guys miss a tackle. So the tackling has to improve. That's not me being overly critical. That's the exact same thing DeMeco's been saying. I understand what you're saying, and I understand the theory and the philosophy. It doesn't work. The theory has been disproven. DeMeco used to believe in that philosophy. DeMeco has seen the light. He's disproven the theory of swarm tackling being a catch-all for any mistake that anybody makes, because it gets to a point where nobody's paying attention to tackling, and the second, the third, the fourth guy in, they just don't tackle. All right. What did I see from CJ today? Very precise, very confident. The little blips on handling the pressure and everything, that's got to get better versus better teams. And I think they have improved a lot. The offensive line has improved. You got to adjust for the fact that they've faced lesser competition the last couple weeks. But CJ, precise, spread the ball around. I thought he looked comfortable knowing when to extend the play and when to just pull the trigger quickly. If there's anything that these first 5 games I think have maybe taught CJ, it's that, man, you genuinely do have to live by the cliches. You got to take what the defense gives you. You don't go broke taking a profit. If the first read's there and it's first down, you take it. Like, you don't get greedy in those moments, and then you pick and choose when you go to Nico Collins, when you throw a fade to Xavier Hutchinson, all of those. I think as he's also getting comfortable with this offense, it's the hardest thing for a young quarterback to do. We saw Pat Mahomes struggle with it in his 3rd or 4th year when teams just started playing a boatload of shell coverages against them. I think he's gotten a lot better with that. So we head into the bye week. Nick Haley's got some things to digest. I think one of the good things about today is they put a lot of stuff on film that defenses have to think about. The misdirection in the backfield, the jet sweeps, motion with urgency. Watch Jalen Noel when he's doing some of those yo-yo motions and everything. He's doing it fast and aggressively. It should feel like you're running a shuttle drill for time when you're that receiver, instead of guys just kind of jogging around and giving the defense time to do it. All of that's looked a lot crisper, and today I think it was the crispest it's looked. And a lot of that's just pre-snap stuff. So the difference between this week and last week with the Ravens defense versus the Titans defense, they're both struggling mightily on defense. The Ravens do more things to confuse guys at the line of scrimmage, and I thought the Texans handled that by and large pretty well today. So I'm going to be doing CJ's press conference a little bit later. I'll be on KHOU tonight for any of you. Like, subscribe, whatever, if you feel like. I don't like grubbing for subscribers. You guys know where to find me.